For most of my awesome subscribers and the Small Steps to Freedom community, you'd know that I'm part of the FIRE movement and on a path to financial independence. And talking about financial independence, I actually got a very interesting question on Twitter, essentially asking whether financial independence and minimalism are mutually exclusive. And I think that is a really good question. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Is financial independence and minimalism mutually exclusive, or do you need to be a minimalist in order to achieve financial independence? So let's actually start by defining those terms. When we're talking about financial independence, we're talking about when your investments reach a point where you don't need to work and they can cover all your expenses without you needing to have a job. And then when we're speaking about minimalism, we're speaking about living consciously, purposefully, trying to avoid consumer culture and only buying the things that you need and the things that actually bring you joy. So those are the definitions for both of those. When you're on a path of financial independence, it starts with the goal, right? So if you want to achieve financial independence, you ask yourself what your actual goal is. So for example, your goal can be you want to have more autonomy, more control over your own time, how you spend your days without actually needing to worry about how you're going to make money in order to live your life, right? And in order to achieve that goal, you need to build up an investment portfolio and give you enough income month to month for you to actually survive without needing a job. And in order to even build up that investment portfolio, that means you need to save a lot of money. So for a lot of people on the path to financial independence, they can save anything between 50% up to 80-90% of their income. And this is really just because you do need quite a lot of money invested in order to reach a point where your investments are giving you enough money in return month to month for you to live your life without needing to work. So that's what the financial independence community is all about. So of course, if you are aiming for such a high savings rate, you will start actually cutting back on a lot of things. So that's where the financial independence and minimalist communities kind of mix, because for you to, in order to actually reach that high savings rate, you need to cut back on your spending, and minimalism makes it easier because it only requires you to spend money on things that you need and the things that bring you joy. And it turns out not a whole lot of things bring people joy, so you end up saving quite a lot of money. But this is not to say that you need to be a minimalist in order to reach financial independence. And another point where minimalism and financial independence kind of cross over is when we speak about lifestyle inflation when it comes to financial independence, because the idea is to try to control your lifestyle to a point where it doesn't cost you too much money to actually keep living a life that makes you happy. And minimalism makes that easier as well because it doesn't advocate for consumer culture. Let's look at the minimalist movement. As I said, this is a movement focused on conscious living, making sure that you're only buying the things that you need and the things that bring you joy only, right? So naturally, because you're spending your money so purposefully and making sure that you're not getting sucked into consumer culture, you have a lot of disposable income that a lot of people don't actually have month to month. And because of that, that means you have a higher savings rate, a higher investment rate. And of course, that leads you to financial independence, whether or not you were directly aiming for it or not. You just end up having enough money to actually be financially independent because you are living so frugally. However, kind of the same with financial independence. Even if you're a minimalist, doesn't mean you will reach financial independence. It just makes it much easier to actually reach that point. And I'm saying this because even though you might be a minimalist in terms of the things, physical things you buy, you might actually find a different vice to actually put your money in. So instead of buying a lot of things, you might end up like traveling each and every year and just living in different countries and not necessarily saving and investing that money, because you don't necessarily have to if you're part of the minimalist community. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so that's how those communities kind of mesh and come together, and that's really centers on the values that build up both communities, living purposefully, living within your means, making sure you're not getting sucked into consumer culture, wanting to have control over your own time, and so on. So is minimalism and financial independence mutually exclusive? I'll say not. They cross over quite a lot, which makes it hard for me to say that they're mutually exclusive, because you can definitely be part of both the minimalist movement and financial independence, or be part of either and end up finding yourself actually crossing over to the other side and having those two priorities mesh together. So I hope that kind of answers the question, but I think this is a topic that we definitely need to discuss even more, and I will definitely be making more follow-up videos for this. Anyway, I hope that answers your question for the person who actually asked that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're on a path to financial independence, or you're aiming for financial independence or early retirement, let me know down below in the comments. Let's connect, my fellow FIRE movement people, and let's just talk about our struggles and the awesomeness of financial independence. But anyway, until I see you on my next video, be sure to watch all these other videos that I've done about investing, saving, that will actually help you on your financial independence journey and could actually help a minimalist come to the financial independence path as well. But until I see you on my next video, bye for now.